Hello, hello, and welcome. I'm VelvettB, and thank you for joining me today for this speed build. So today we are building a modern couple's home, and I thought this was, or came out super cute. So the story behind this build, as you are probably thinking, well, the shell's already built. Of course it was. I'm doing a shell challenge. So this shell challenge is actually the what's it called? The Soup Shell Challenge by Lilsimsie. So Lilsimsie is probably someone that you're all familiar with. She's one of the bigger YouTubers on YouTube for The Sims, and yeah, she's well known. So I was actually looking for something fun to do, and I was going to do a completely different shell challenge, but it was quite big, and I was like, I don't want to. So I did this one instead. I saw it on the gallery and I was like, you know what, it's due tomorrow, I'm going to do it now. So that's what I did. It's fresh off the block, freshly made. So yeah. One of the first things I do like to do with shell challenges is just try to morph the exterior so that it is something a little bit more manageable, or so it is a little bit of a different shape. So that is what I'm working on at the moment, and I'm using the Eco Lifestyle vertical wall slats to create a little enclosed balcony areas or false walls as well. So you'll see me here, I'm just about to create another false wall area here, and using the Get Together, I want to say Experience pillar. I think that's what it's called. It's my favorite pillar. I use it all the time. I'm pretty sure it's called the Experience pillar, and it's just like, it's plain and it's simple and it's square, and it's really easy to stack up. So that's why I kind of really love that. I'm going quite heavy on Love Struck and For Rent with this particular shell. So you'll see that coming more into the picture as I start to do the windows and doors, but you can sort of see the beginnings of the Love Struck side of things with the fencing there. I absolutely love that fencing from Love Struck. It is gorgeous. So it was kind of like a little walk back in time for me doing this shell challenge, because back in the day when Velvet was just a little baby builder, I'm probably kind of like a toddler builder now, but back in the day when I was a little baby builder, I didn't know, I used to sort of casually play The Sims, but I didn't really do much in the way of building. And then my in real life friend mentioned to me, yeah, I've been watching some Sims on YouTube. I was like, what? Sims? It's on YouTube? This is a true story. And I was like, what? So I was away on holiday, and I was down at my mum's house down in Nelson, and I didn't have my computer and I didn't have much to do beyond hang out with family and that sort of thing. So in those quiet moments, I would go on my tablet and I would watch Sims videos, because this was a whole brand new thing to me. And I found Deligracy, Lilsimsie, a few others like that, but I mainly took to Deligracy. I just got addicted to watching Deligracy's build videos. I love them, and I was like watching them, and I was like, I can do this. Like, it's not that hard. Like, this is how you build in The Sims. So that was like sort of the beginning of my change to being a builder in The Sims, and really being a full-time player in The Sims and really getting into it. Of course, because I was off on holiday, I started watching these videos, and I then had this long, like week-long wait before I could even go and put these newly found ideas into practice, because I didn't have a computer with me, and I couldn't play The Sims until I got home. And it was great. It was a whole discovery. Anyway, why this is relevant, one of the first things that I discovered after discovering the whole gallery building thing was that Lilsimsie actually ran shell challenges, and I discovered this thing called a shell challenge, and I was like, what? amazing and so much fun. I still think shell challenges are amazing and so much fun, so that hasn't changed one bit. But the whole thing with that is that I discovered shell challenges and Lilsimsie and Lilsimsie's shell challenges on the gallery, and this is basically how we got around to the story. Is back in the day, I just remember, I'm sure it was something called the Big Fish or the Fish Shell Challenge, something like that. It was like the Fish Shell Challenge, and I'm pretty sure that was the first shell challenge that I ever did by Lilsimsie, and I was just like, this is so great. I have zero idea if she actually toured the bill. I doubt it. I don't think it was very good, but yeah, it was just one of those things that I discovered this thing called a shell challenge, and yeah, the first one that I did was actually by Lilsimsie. So it kind of feels like a bit of a flashback. Me now going back into doing one of her shell challenges, and yeah, being here today, and I'm on YouTube. Not only do I know about Sims on YouTube, I am on YouTube playing The Sims. So it feels like a bit of a full circle story, really, this one, isn't it? Me coming back to doing a shell challenge for Lilsimsie today, and I had a lot of fun putting this together. So you see, I've been working away on the landscape as I've chitty-chatted away. So I'm using the debug landscaping or plants that we got from Lovestruck. As I said, I kind of went heavy on Lovestruck and For Rent and a lot of the decoration on the exterior of the build. So I did want to use one of those two packs plants, and because I'm actually building in Ciudad Enamorada, so that's why I chose Lovestruck, but I ended up changing the location of the build. Where did I put it? I ended up putting it, I didn't do this on camera. I did it off camera before I took the gallery shot, because I looked at it when I put the picture up on or went to save the build on the gallery, and it looked really busy, and it just didn't look, it looked kind of weird in the place that it was. So I moved it to Newcrest, and it looked a lot more like it fit in that area. So it's not really a Lovestruck kind of build. It's not in the Lovestruck vibe at all. I feel like it probably would work quite nicely in Tomarang, but I'd done the landscaping not in a jungly Tomarang style, so again, probably wouldn't fit there either. So ended up just going to Newcrest, and it looked good. It looked good there. So I did something, as you probably noticed, something a little bit different with the fencing. So I used a half wall, and I used the windows from Jungle Adventure, stacked them up. So just to create the pattern on the fencing, and I did little inserts in the fencing just to mix it up a little bit, make it look a little bit different, and added some little plants in there. What I'm doing at the moment, I actually end up deleting after the build. I decided it just made the roof look a little too busy. It's something that I saw someone did in one of my shell challenges. This was the Prepper Shell Challenge, and I did some tours on that, and they actually did that trick, and it's a good way of actually, with the roof tilting up, so it's like a secondary roof underneath tilted up, and it's like a faux solar panel, which is really neat. Or just or in the case of how I've done it, is sort of in a decorative kind of way. It's not really being used as a solar panel, more as a roof decoration. But when I looked at the picture and how it sort of looked, it looked too busy. So I decided to take them off, so they won't be in the final build. But I think it's a really neat build technique, having those little tilted roofs. And if you don't have the Eco Lifestyle pack with the solar panels, that's a really cool way of actually adding a faux solar panel to your roof. So if you are one of the people out there that doesn't have Eco Lifestyle, that is, yeah, just a little idea for you. Although Eco Lifestyle is an awesome pack, and I'm going to be an EA shill here and say it's awesome and you should get it. No, you get what you like. Not everybody has the same taste as me in packs. This is the point where I discovered, as I'm putting the lights into the pool, I discovered there was a basement in the shell, and I was like, eh. Because I only wanted a smallish kind of shell. I didn't want to be doing heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of inside forever and a day. And yeah, I was kind of like, oh no, there's a basement as well. So anyway, I found the basement and it was fine. It's actually not too big a house. This house actually ended up only being a 1-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, although there is space because I did a separate study/home office. So if you wanted to turn this into a 2-bedroom, you could super easy just delete the stuff from the office and just turn it into a bedroom. Shouldn't be a problem. So I went heavy on the Riviera Retreat kit on the outside because I love that kit. I did want to put, there aren't any kids living in this house, but I did put a little monkey bar set in there. My whole thought about who lives in this house is that this would be for a couple. So this is a modern couple, and they don't actually want to have their own children, but they are great uncles and aunties, whatever the gender assignation is. They are great uncles or aunties or both to their nieces and nephews. So they accommodated for having their family come and visit by having like the little monkey bars there in the yard. And no, I'm not just adding that to the story to justify the monkey bars. That's genuinely what I was thinking when I built it. I really was thinking this is going to be for a modern couple, and they don't have any children, but they do have family, and they are involved with their family. They love their family. They just don't want children of their own. And I actually know people like that in real life and online life as well, who are great aunties and uncles, and they love spending time with their nephews and nieces, but they definitely do not want any children of their own, which is great, and I understand why. But I love my kids, and I would never change that as a thing in my life. But they are a lot of work, and they are a big commitment, and I understand why people don't want them. Each to their own, and your own choices you make. So I am working on the floor plan at the moment. So the downstairs area is going to be a party basement. So this is very much a hangout area basement. I don't do those very often. To be honest, I don't often put a lot of basements in my builds. So that's probably why. But there was a basement here, so I was like, right, okay, we will add a party area. And I instantly thought of one of the old houses that we used to live in, me and my husband, before we had children. And it was a 2-story home, so it had just the main floor, which is where all the living was, and then it just you went into one of the bedrooms, and then there was like these random stairs down, and it just had like this random basement area. And in the basement area there was a tennis table, and it like you would have to disassemble it to be able to get it out of this basement. And that's what the ping pong table here reminded me of, is there's just like this random can't get it out of the basement table down the bottom. So I'm just creating a little bar area. I used the Machino dividers and lifted them up using 9, boom, 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 and used the column as a support thing for the dividers, so they're not just floating, and did that above the bar. It's just something I did a little while back in this gorgeous modern luxe home that I built, modern luxe mansion actually. And I came up with the idea when I was doing that, with the dividers sort of up above there, just to create that kind of half wall, peeking through the wall kind of vibe to a bar. And yeah, just repeating that little trick there. I really like the idea of that, and I think it looks cool, so that's what I did. So off the side of the basement, I've done just a little bathroom. It was a good fit for that weird shape, so I was like, we'll just turn that into a little bathroom. That party table, I moved it around I don't know how many times, and then I was like, no, I'm going to put it on the small round glittery table, the party essentials snacks, and then put in a proper dance floor. I was going to put the dance floor in underneath the table, and I was like, no, that's weird. What am I doing? So I changed that. So I am just working on this little corner here. Going to add a picture of wine because, I mean nectar, because it is a nectar drinking area. And I'm just adding in some more nectar bottles there using the Modern Luxe shelving. That Modern Luxe shelving is gorgeous. I love that shelving. And now that's the basement done. So I used the Love Strike kind of Art Deco wallpaper down there. The idea behind that is that the basement kind of had that out of date vibe, that they haven't renovated the basement. They've just left it as is. And it sort of has more of a retro vibe to it. Whereas the rest of the house is very much modern in its look. So hence I am using, of course, my very, very favorite modern kitchenware, which is the Home Chef Hustle kitchenware. What I really struggled with in this particular build was the wallpaper. I don't know how many types of wallpaper I went through. I knew I wanted it to be blue. That's what I knew. It was going to be blue and it was going to be white on the interior. But then I just kept on flipping through different options because I just couldn't really settle on anything, and I did get there eventually, and I'll explain that when I get there, how that actually changed. Yeah, changed because I didn't have a clear idea. Like sometimes I have a clear idea in my head what color scheme I'm going for. I generally know immediately, like depending on the style of house I'm building, what kind of interior style I'm going for. So I knew I was doing modern and I knew there was blue. But beyond that, I didn't actually really know what I was doing. But then once I got through to the living room and finally settled on a wallpaper, that meant that I could actually go through, and I end up changing the color of the kitchen as far as the counters and the ovens and the fridges go. Yeah, didn't change the flooring, but I did change the wallpaper. So once I worked the wallpaper out in the lounge, it meant I had to change the kitchen because there was kind of a thing going on. So you can see now I've changed the tile in the kitchen. And it was by changing the tile in the kitchen that allowed me to work out the color that I wanted to go for in the living room, which gave me the color theme for the build. It was a whole process, and this is the color that I ended up going with. So I ended up going with blue and silver because in that Riviera Retreat tile, there's actually a darker blue, a lighter blue, and a grey. And I just wanted to try and bring those colours into the lounge area just to make that match. I'm just changing the front door because I realised that it was too wide, the one that I'd put in there. And I'm changing it to the front door, which looked better anyway. So that worked out okay. So what I'm doing for a colour theme on the interior is silver and blue with white. And I was just like, ooh, this looks so pretty. I was really pleased with myself. It took me a while to get there, but I got there. So that ended up working out really nicely with what I had already done in the basement. But the thing with that and what was bothering me, and I'm about to do something in here that I forgot to change in the build, and it kind of irritated me afterwards, but you know, it's just a stupid plant. That plant there on the wall, I did the planter container in gold instead of silver, and I spotted it afterwards after I'd already put it up on the gallery, and I was like, gah. It's sometimes, you know, when you're building, it's just those pedantic little details that drive you bananas afterwards after you've already put it up on the gallery and realized you've made a boo-boo. Anyway, so you can see I've changed the kitchen through to white because that just worked so much better. The color that I had, the blue, because the blue on the counter had gold trim, it was actually bothering me because I'd gone with silver and blue on the living room, having that mixed metal kind of vibe. I wanted to have similar metals throughout. So that meant I had to change to a silver a silver metal trim, and the white worked best with the silver metal trim in the kitchen. So this is how pedantic I am as a builder. I'm bothered by like little tiny pieces of trim, but I think it makes it so much more effective having that consistency. It does depend on what you're doing, because I think you can do a mixed metal thing as well if that's kind of the thing that you're doing. It wasn't the thing that I was doing, so that's why I wanted to change it. Blah blah blah. This is Velvet's. This is a sneaky peek into Velvet's mind and how I think about things when I'm building. So I'm using that gorgeous fluffy Lovestruck rug, and I feel like while it's quite a different blue from what is on the wall in the other parts of the living room, because it's far enough away from the living room with the blue walls, it actually kind of works in that grey corner. So yeah, or the silver corner, as the case may be. So that is the basement and the living room done. So that means we are heading upstairs, and I'm just getting my wallpapers and bits and pieces sorted out. And this is me just changing the tile in the bathrooms, because the dark blue obviously didn't go with the rest of the build as it was. As she said, as she puts dark blue into the bedroom. But it works out. I'm changing this wallpaper, and it looks a million times better when I change the wallpaper and make it all work, and I actually get rid of these pictures as well, because the brown just wasn't working with the rest of the build. So unfortunately, like, the trim on the furniture from the Modern Luxe with the dark blue is actually more of like a pewter. It's like kind of it's quite a dark kind of steely color rather than the silver. But by bringing the silver into the walls, as you can see I've done there, I feel like I managed to still catch that blue and silver vibe that I was going for. So by changing that around, and then I went really bold on the walls. I went with the Decor to the Max rose wallpaper in the navy, and I was just like, ooh, risky, but I think I like it. So I kept it because I thought I liked it. And I think I still do like it. It's just something a little bit different. And I felt like it really worked in the bedroom, had a luxe feel, added some life to the build, you know? Yeah, I like it. I think it worked out quite nicely, and it works really nicely with the silver. So it is a lot, but I think that the rest of the room is toned down enough that it works. So that's the master bedroom. So I was initially going to do this room here as a second single bedroom, as like a guest room, but then I was like, they don't need a guest room. They would probably more likely have a home office than they would a guest bedroom. So, you know, if there's going to be guests, maybe they have like a blow up bed or something like that. But yeah, I decided that a home office would be more practical for this particular couple. Like maybe one of them works from home on occasion, or who knows what, but a home office made more sense to me than having a spare room for this modern couple, because a lot of people do work from home these days, and you know, that works, right? So then we are on to the second to last part of the build, which is the bathroom, the master bathroom. So we had the little teeny tiny just half bath, I guess, downstairs in the basement, but this is the big master bathroom, which is for the couple to share. And so I did 2 sinks and just kind of reflected them there, and did like a I just realized I didn't do a toilet in this bathroom. Oh well, there's a bathroom, there's a toilet downstairs. Whoops. It's just as I'm watching this that I realize I literally left the toilet out. Oh no. Hilarious. Well, there is a toilet downstairs, not a biggie. So I'm just setting the Lovestruck love struck lighting in on the walls and the ceiling because I just wanted to create this really cool vibe with the bath. I did end up having to delete the plant I'm about to put in because the sim that I was playtesting just would not get in the bath with that plant there, and so I was like, okay. I like how I noticed that, but I didn't notice the fact that I did not put a toilet in this bathroom. Ah, hilarious. Oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Okay, well, anyway, it can be easily added with the shower is not a biggie. And so this is the last section of the build. I crack myself up sometimes. This is just the whole sort of upstairs lounge sort of seating area. So I just did a console table with a bookshelf, and then just went into Dream Home Decorator and got myself some lovely sectional couches and just did like a little sectional couch up there, just like a nice chill out area upstairs if they don't, if they're just chilling at home for the day or want to have a relax, maybe read a nice book on the weekend, chill out. Less of an entertainment area, more of a chill out area. That was kind of the vibe I was going for. I can't believe I forgot the toilet. Oh dear. Anyway, let's have a wee look at what we did. So this is the exterior of the build. I did remember the mailbox, and then after I took the outside pictures, I realized I forgot the rubbish bins and the ceilings. As I often do, by the time I get to the inside of taking the pictures, I realize that I have forgotten the ceilings and the rubbish bins. It's inevitable, and it happens every time. I usually remember the toilets, but in this case I did not. Yeah, funny. So yeah, this is how it all came together, and I am absolutely delighted with how it came together, with the exception of that gold plant and the forgotten toilet, which is now also annoying me. As you do. But that's okay. I'll forget about this build in a week and we'll move on to another build. It'll be fine. I will cope with it, don't worry. So this is our little home office and our lovely bedroom. This is my little test sim there, getting ready for bed. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had fun. You can download this from the gallery, VelvettB, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.